So Super Bowl 51 just finished, and New England Patriots won 34-28 in a comeback win. Arguably the greatest Super Bowl ever played. And and you know what? There's a part of me that's amazed by it, looking at it for what it is, being possibly the greatest Super Bowl ever played. I mean, that's something that we thought would be the case going into this game.
Said it all week. Yeah.
And there's a part of me that fucking is disgusted by this because of who won. The Patriots. The evil empire wins. And you got to give them their respect, right? You got to say, oh, Tom Brady, Belichick, 5 Super Bowl wins. They're the fucking GOATs. A comeback for the ages. The greatest of all time. Going to overtime. The first overtime in Super Bowl history. Fuck. God damn. It took a lot for me to calm down to do this video. That's how much I hate the Patriots. As much as I respect them, but it doesn't mean I have to like them.
I'm
Sean,
impressed.
What'd you think, man? Your emotions after the game.
I'm still kind of in shock, man.
Holy fuck. I mean, what a phenomenal comeback, man.
It was arguably, I don't think there's any argument really, actually. This is probably the best Super Bowl of all time. Before this game, the largest comeback in Super Bowl history was 10 points. 10
points.
And they were down by 25. Pretty much double of what it was before. And they shattered that. They pretty much shattered the record. And they came back, forced overtime.
Yeah.
They scored 19 points in the fourth quarter, I believe.
It was something ridiculous. I mean, fuck, man. They went into.
I honestly just want to cry.
Yeah.
What sucks is that, it was a great game. I can't really complain about the game in that aspect because, like you said, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, looking at it for what it is, it's
amazing. And the history.
Of all time.
Exactly. So leave it at that.
Let's break it down to see how this came to be. All right. So let's start with the first half, man, because the first half was basically all Atlanta defense. I mean, they were just unreal. They were just so fast, athletic. They were all over the place. I mean, they were getting pressure on Tom Brady.
Exactly what we said.
Yeah, they sacked Tom Brady twice in the first half. Jarrett and Upshaw, they each got a sack on Tom Brady. The pressure on Tom Brady was so fucking unreal. That's exactly what you need to do against New England. And then on the offensive side, Devontae Freeman couldn't be stopped, man. I mean, this dude was making a case for MVP very, very early, and he ended up scoring the first points of the game. And then Tom Brady, he throws a pick six in the second quarter. A pick six. Tom Brady. That was the first pick six he's ever thrown in his postseason career. Ever. That happened in this game. And, Atlanta was just holding strong, man. I mean, they were just destroying them.
Dominated.
And New England's play calling in the first half was just terrible. I mean, it was terrible. Josh McDaniels was calling a terrible game. And then Kyle Shanahan, he was calling a phenomenal game. And and then the defense... Dan Quinn were it was just clicking on all cylinders. It was all Atlanta. It was a blowout. It looked like this was going to be just an absolute lopsided affair right here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what were some of the things that you took away from the first half that stood out to you that you saw coming or that were you shocked by?
The thing is, I didn't really see any of this coming. Me and you were in shock. We were messaging back and forth, and I was in shock because I thought it was going to be a closer game, but it felt so good. I was like, oh, my God. Like, I'm so happy right now because me and you both picked Atlanta. And I mean, I was shocked.
Twice they get into the red zone. LeGarrette Blount fumbles. He fumbles.
He hasn't fumbled. I don't know. Like, he hasn't fumbled the last 16 games, I think it showed, of the season.
And
this was a phenomenal show of defensive power. Now, the thing is that worried me, though, is that the Patriots still kind of dominated the time of possession. which I feel like it kind of caught up to him in the second half. But in the first half, it was all defense by Atlanta by seizing and eliminating them in the red zone. Yep. And that's the key, and that's what gave them that lead. It's not like Atlanta's offense was just putting up massive amount of yards. They weren't. If you look, they weren't. It was their defense, exactly, that gave them those extra opportunities.
Yeah, they weren't. I wouldn't say mediocre, but they weren't the Atlanta offense that they had been, right?
Exactly.
And they're playing the Patriots defense, which is the top scoring defense coming into this game, and that's kind of understandable. But come on, I mean, LeGarrette Blount fumble by Robert Alford, right? And then a pick six by Robert Alford on Tom Brady.
Deion Jones forced the fumble.
Deion Jones forced the fumble, and Alford recovered.
Alford recovered, yeah.
So I'm just like, damn.
Yeah.
So that was the first half. It was basically just Atlanta defense and Devontae Freeman was
There's not
pretty
much
the storyline right there.
There's nothing talked about for Patriots.
Going into the second half, for most of the third quarter, it was pretty much the same thing. I mean, Atlanta's defense, Freeman and Coleman, they're running. They're doing their thing. Coleman, he got hit for a touchdown by Matt Ryan, making it 28-3, and it just looks like it's just that
everybody thought it was over.
Yeah, that gap was just.
We thought
increasing.
It was over. We're like, hey, who's the MVP?
Yeah, me and you start talking about, all right, who's the MVP here?
Yeah.
Is it Freeman? Is it Matt Ryan, Alford, or Jarrett? It was just ridiculous. And then of course, James White, he ends up scoring a touchdown late in the third quarter, and Gostkowski misses an extra point, and they go into
the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they go in the fourth quarter, 28-9, and that's where everything just went the other way. New England
flip switch.
Yeah, New England comes back. At first, in the first quarter, in the beginning, the Patriots had a long drive, right? And they get down, and they're like they're about to score a touchdown, but Tom Brady gets sacked by Jarrett on third down, making it fourth down, and that led to a field goal, making it 28-12. And then it's just like, wow, okay, Atlanta's defense is still there and everything, and me and you are still talking about this point. All right, so who's going to be the the MVP? Is it going to be Jarrett? I mean, this guy had 3 sacks in the fucking game.
Is it going to be Ryan? Is it going to be Alford? Who is it going to be? And we were nowhere thinking that.
And then what happened, Sean?
Well,
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, Atlanta could not sustain anything, and their offense just kind of disappeared. So Patriots took advantage. Tom Brady, comeback kid, as his nickname was before.
He hit Amendola for a touchdown, making it 28-20. They did a 2-point conversion.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, oh, shit. I know I was thinking that. I know you were, too. We're like, because New England, there's like, 5.5 left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, there's about 6 minutes left when they scored that.
That's plenty of fucking time.
Yeah. And I told you, I texted you. I was like, it's a game.
Yeah. It was,
and you were like, fuck.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was just like, fuck. When they made it 28-20, I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah. Shit. So what does Atlanta do to respond to that? They're making a drive, right? And it's third down, and Matt Ryan tosses it to Julio Jones, who comes up with one of the most craziest, most athletic catches ever. I mean, one of the greatest catches I've ever seen. Forget just Super Bowls, ever. That was one of the greatest. Yeah. I mean, the difficulty of making that catch.
Like that's like the perfect pass.
Yeah.
And perfect catch. Like both toes down, right over the defender's hand. Like it literally, it was like this. It was like an inch away from the defender's fingers.
Dude, when that happened, I'm like, Atlanta's gonna win the game.
They're going to close out.
There's your miracle right there. Atlanta's going to win the game. They're not going to lose after doing that.
When I text you, I was like, they're
going to
score.
They're going to go on to score right here, and then there's not going to be enough time for New England to fucking come back, right? But what happens right after that? Matt Ryan gets sacked.
One thing you do not want to do when you are in field goal range and you're trying to close out a game is you do not take a sack at that point. Do not.
Dude, I was screaming like, throw it away! throw it! As he's getting touched, and he started twirling to the ground. I'm like, throw it away!
Oh,
Fuck.
man. And then at that point, they did, remember the next play, they got some yardage back. And like, okay, they're in the field goal range. Oh wait, there's a hold.
And then, what was it, Jake Matthews that got called for that holding penalty? That took him out of field goal range, and then they ended up fucking having to punt it away to New England. And then, shit. And then New England, they make their miracle catch. Where Julian Edelman somehow fucking comes up with the catch that was just as ridiculous as you've ever seen. I mean,
that's David Tyree 2.0.
Yeah, that was reminiscent of the Tyree catch. You know, just this circus crazy catch.
What was crazy is Alfred, whatever his name is, Alfred, right?
Yeah.
He was probably the best defensive player besides Jarrett on that team. Well, for the game, anyways.
Yeah.
He had his hands on the ball, and he popped it up. And
he should have had that shit.
All these other players dove for the ball, and I feel like if they would have just let the ball hit the ground, like Julian Edelman would have had no chance because he didn't really get there until after it hit like all the other players, and they kind of kept it up on the ground. And I'm yelling, I'm like thinking to myself when I saw the ref like throw the catch sign, I was like, man, y'all are stupid. That wasn't a catch. I was screaming at the bar. I was like, no fucking way.
How did they do that? That's exactly. I said the same thing.
I was like, challenge that shit now.
I thought the same thing. I'm like, how the fuck did the referee think it was automatically a catch? Yeah. That shit was so fucking close, and you needed a close up fucking camera view to make sure. How the hell did he fucking call that?
I don't know. And then right after they were trying to rush it, and then they threw the challenge flag, and they showed the replay. I was like,
and it was a catch.
Fuck, it was
and I was
catch.
just like, God damn it, there goes their miracle. Now they have the momentum. Now they're going to go and fucking score on this drive. But, you know, and you're texting me, and you're like, it's okay, Josh. Atlanta, they can't lose if on this drive. So I'm like, I don't know, man.
I was trying to look at the glass half full. I was like, at least they can't lose on this drive right here. Like
me being as cynical as I am,
they could just be tied. But
I'm the cynical one. I'm the one who's like, it's all over. It's the end of the world. That's me. Sean's the kind of guy who fucking, he's the kind of guy who, sees dog shit under a Christmas tree and goes, oh, there must be a puppy then. Like, he's optimist. I'm a fucking cynical asshole, okay? All right, so I'm like, it's over. It's it. That's it. As soon as that Julian Edelman catch happened, I'm like, they're going to fucking score. And they did.
That was a good one, Josh. I'll give you that.
They fucking go on, and they score a touchdown, and they hit the 2-point conversion. And, of course, it goes into overtime, and I'm just sitting there, and I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, my God. I want to be excited as a fan of the game and go, wow, we're about to see our first ever overtime in Super Bowl history. But, fuck, it's the New England Patriots. I'm like, God damn it, because you know they're not going to lose this shit. You know it.
At that point, Tom Brady's not going to allow them, especially they won the toss, and then there's nothing. At that point, it's over. They won the toss.
They even won the toss. I'm like, they're not even going to lose the toss. This is all New England now. And they won the toss, and they fucking go, and they score the goddamn fucking touchdown.
It was over.
And they win. And I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah. They win the game, and now I'm just like, okay, so Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, they are now 5-time Super Bowl champions. Tom Brady wins his 4th Super Bowl MVP. I mean, it's not up for debate anymore. It's not a topic of discussion. There is is it Joe Montana, Peyton Manning? No. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. If you didn't already know that. Bill Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. Yep. And it's a hard pill to swallow because, like I said, several times before, I respect them and I respect for what they do, but it doesn't mean I have to really enjoy that. I just hate their faces. Fuck! Why do they have to win?
Now, I don't like it either, man. They joined the 5 Super Bowl club with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And
they did it within their own era, like, the Cowboys, the Steelers, they did it in these different eras combined to add up, all these Super Bowl wins. Brady and Belichick did it. They're the ones who won all those Super Bowls for the Patriots.
Yep.
And now, Sean, when for you was it the turning point of this game? What happened in this game that turned it around for you that made Atlanta went from looking like they were going to win to.
I think it was about. I think it was actually about halfway through the third quarter, and it was just that feeling once New England got the ball, or Atlanta, once they scored that first touchdown, they went up 28-3. About halfway through the third quarter, their offense just kind of went stagnant. And I put this a little bit, and I'll probably mention this a few times. I think it's a little bit of the coaches. Because at that point, when you're up 28-3, you're as a player, you're looking at the scoreboard, you're like, this is over. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're done. We just dominated this team. We're better. We're a better team than them. That's what's going through your mind. But the thing is, you still got to close the game out. And especially when you're playing a great player like Tom Brady and a great coach like Bill Belichick, you got to put them out of their misery. You got to keep scoring. Just kind of like what they did to Green Bay. You know, they went into Green Bay. Remember, they were up pretty much just the same way. It was actually like very similar against Green Bay. But what they do, they kept scoring. And I put this on the coaches. I feel like they got a little complacent. They started throwing the ball when they should have ran, like on that Matt Ryan sack that we talked about.
Yes,
they ran the ball when they should have passed, and like. They just kind of got real complacent, and I felt like they kind of turned off that switch of intensity. And as a player, if anybody's played any kind of sport out there, you know this. Once you get complacent and you turn it off midway through a game, it's hard to turn it back on. It's not just something you could turn back on, because it's a mindset. You prepare yourself for an hour, 2 hours before the game. You're getting in your zone, and then you get out of your zone. You're in the middle of a game. It's hard to get back into. You have all these distractions now. Like, no, you're not going to do it. So it was about halfway through that third quarter when all of a sudden their offense just pretty much stopped scoring. And their defense, and like I said earlier, the time of possession was massive in the Patriots' favor. And it caught up to that defense as we saw towards the end of the game. So time of possession may not affect you right away, but what it does is it wears you down gradually. And that's exactly what happened in the second half. That's why the Patriots put up 19 points in the fourth quarter, because that defense, that D-line stopped getting pressure on Tom Brady. And look what he did. He picked them apart. So it was that turning point is about midway through the third quarter. That's exactly what it is.
As soon as Matt Ryan took that sack right after that Julio Jones miracle catch, I was like, momentum done, killed, and it's all New England now. Like that was just so. Why didn't he throw it away? Why were they passing that in that in the first place? In that place, right? Like, why were they run with Devontae Freeman? He was tearing them up, or at least check down to Devontae Freeman.
Yards in the first quarter, right? Something like that.
I mean, there were some points where Devontae Freeman was just wide open. Like either run it with him or check down to him, and just because right at that moment. They were still in Matt Bryant's, field goal range. It would have been a long one.
He's got a fucking big ass leg.
Yeah, and then
boot that shit.
He takes that fucking sack, and then the holding call. So that was a turning point right there, and that was all New England from that moment on. It was all New England.
It was done.
Now, so that's the game. That's our take on it. That's our feelings on it. We both feel the same way. We respect Belichick and Brady. It is what it is. They are the best. This is probably the greatest Super Bowl of all time. You guys let us know what you think about that. But doesn't mean we have to really fucking enjoy it.
Be happy about it.
There's not a... I hate these guys. Just... Fuck. But that's all good. I mean, that's us. That's how we feel about it. So, all right, so going to other things about the Super Bowl, because it's not just about the game. All right, so what did you think about the halftime show about Lady Gaga?
Oh, God. Well, first off, she jumped from the goddamn roof.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, shit.
I was like, maybe they recorded this before. I was like, maybe this isn't real. Maybe they recorded it before the game or something like that, right? No,
that's exactly what I first thought.
Jumped off the fucking roof.
As soon as she did that, I was like, that's it for me. This is right there with Prince and Michael Jackson right there.
That's the best. Like, nobody can top that. Literally, you can't go higher than the fucking roof.
She jumped off of fucking Reliance Stadium.
No, it was great, man.
She's got some fucking balls, man, and she did a great performance. I don't think anyone did.
No.
I don't think there was anyone who didn't enjoy this. It was a great performance. Even if you're not a Lady Gaga fan, she did great, and it was a great halftime show. It was one of the best. It's right up there with, like I said, Michael Jackson and Prince. It was great.
What did you think about her saying "Hi, Mom, hi, Dad"?
That was awesome. Lady Gaga's cool, man. She's a cool fucking chick, man.
And just a FYI, I just kind of thought I saw this on the pregame stuff, but I did not know this. But she literally started from just performing at dive bars.
Yeah, that's what
like
she's
real small, low key, and that's very inspiring because it's like, dude, like she literally started from the very bottom.
Her current,
and she busted her ass.
Her tour that she just did, or if she, maybe she's still on it. She's doing a dive bar tour. She's not performing. Really? She's not performing in stadiums. She's performing at dive bars now. And that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, who else are you going to see do that?
That's especially on her level. That's great. That's actually phenomenal. She's probably going to be one of my favorite performers now.
Now, there are some people, believe it or not, who will watch a Super Bowl just for the commercials. Now, this year, what was your favorite? Or some of your favorites?
Man, there was a few. My favorite, it actually was one of the first commercials that I can remember. It was that Coca-Cola one, man.
Yeah.
I thought it was beautiful. Yeah. I thought it was a great message. And
that was really good.
I know a lot of commercials. This Super Bowl actually had a lot of messages and good messages, positive messages, and I loved it. And I thought it was great, kind of showing the diversity of America, and that's what makes this country great. That's what I think that makes it great, and that's what
you're referring to the Coca-Cola commercial where they were singing the America the Beautiful
in all different languages,
right?
Yeah, because
that was a good one.
We're all from different backgrounds. Like that's what America was. It's not, and nobody's from America. Everybody's family heritage is from somewhere else, unless you're Native American, right? So it's like showing that, and just it means so much. I know with all the everybody's divided right now, and that's a different topic. But I thought it was great because no matter where you're from or what you do, you can kind of relate to that. Just knowing like, hey, this is America, and we come together. And I thought that commercial was beautiful in my eyes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
And
on a serious note, but there's a lot of funny ones, and I think
for me, the two that made me just laugh out loud was the Super Bowl baby commercial that starts off with Baby Ditka. I was just like, oh my god, this is great. And the baby awesome, Von Miller was hilarious. Yeah. That was very funny. I also enjoyed the T-Mobile commercial where Kristen Skull, I think I'm pronouncing it right. She's from Flight of the Conchords and some other great shows. And she's just sitting there, and she's like, she calls up customer support, and she's like, hey, I went over on my data. I know I'm not supposed to, but I did. What are you gonna do about it? He was like, the guy was like,
he's gonna charge you. What does he say?
Yeah.
He said charges and fees or something like that, taxes and fees.
And the commercial was like, you might like extra charges and fees and fines if that's your thing, but if not, go to T-Mobile. I was just like, okay, that's a pretty cool commercial.
That was hilarious. That was probably the best.
But the one that really got to me was the premiere trailer of Stranger Things season 2.
That was pretty cool.
Oh my god! If you haven't watched that show, check it out on Netflix. It's great. Me and my girlfriend, we loved it. We watched it as soon as it came out, and we can't wait for Halloween when season 2 comes out. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So that about does it. Let us know what you guys think about this year's Super Bowl. Do you guys think this was the greatest Super Bowl ever? And you know what? Actually, I think this will make for a great video later on. Yep. How does this rank in greatest games overall, period? Of any sport. So
that would be a good, interesting topic.
We might
give
have to
us
do
some
that
games to talk about. Yeah, give us like a game. All y'all give us games to talk about. And in one video, we'll talk about all the games y'all mentioned, and we'll kind of debate. And we'll go back and debate them all and compare.
We'll do that in the future. So that'd be fun to do. But yeah, let us know what you guys think about this year's Super Bowl. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a like. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. And share. And
let everybody else know about us. And do it as a birthday present for me because it's my birthday.
It is Sean's birthday.
Yep.
It is Sean's birthday as of this recording. Happy birthday, Sean.
Appreciate
I'm sorry the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
I don't want to talk about it. They didn't win on my birthday, so I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, share, comment, subscribe, all that. And let us know what you think.
Yep. All right, Patriots are fucking champions. Whatever.
Yeah, fuck it.